Hi you guys, welcome to the Beauty Revival where we're inspired by home and the people in it. In today's video, I am going to share a review of a very popular IKEA product. This is a product that we get asked so many questions about since we have been blogging the different stages of our kitchen renovation that we've been doing. I think I've shared 2 videos here, which I will link for you to watch, of the different stages that we did for our kitchen renovation and how we transformed it on a budget. Okay, so one of the ways that we were able to get that farmhouse look in our kitchen renovation, but on a budget, was by going with the new, well, it's not super new now, but at the time it was really new, Ikea Havsen or Havsen, whoever knows with Ikea, their double front apron sink, or more commonly known as the Ikea Farmhouse sink. So before I do a review on that sink, I want to talk briefly about the model that came out before this one. So my parents did a renovation, and in their kitchen they ended up installing the IKEA Farmhouse sink that was before this one. And although we had done a lot of research and we'd seen both the positive and negative, we decided to take a leap and install that one because it is so much cheaper than other farmhouse sinks. Farmhouse sinks can run upwards of $1,000, and the IKEA farmhouse sinks, at least in Canada, are usually around, ours was $399. I'm not sure if that model was $299 or $399, but that's a huge difference between, more high-end farmhouse sinks. And there isn't a lot in between. Like, it's either really expensive farmhouse sinks or the IKEA sink. So we ended up installing it, even though we had seen some reviews about cracking. And unfortunately, my parents' sink did get a crack when it was being installed, which was really unfortunate. Now, they were able to seal the crack. It's still a functioning sink, but of course, nobody wants that when they're putting their brand new sink into their kitchen. So I was very hesitant to install an IKEA farmhouse sink in our kitchen. But then one of my friends told me that IKEA had discontinued that and they had released a new sink, and that people were saying that those issues that people were having with the previous one had now been resolved, and that this one was much better quality and didn't have as many problems with cracks or even scratches. So we decided to install the IKEA Havsen apron front sink into our kitchen, and we think this was 3 years ago, but to be safe, let's say 2, because I'm not 100% sure when we installed this sink into our kitchen. And today I wanted to do a really quick review on whether we like it and if we would recommend it to other people who are looking for a farmhouse sink on a budget for their kitchen renovations. So first things first, I love this new, well, again, it's not new, but the current model of an IKEA farmhouse sink that is available at least in Canada and the US at the time of the making of this video. So some things that I really like about this sink are, I love that it has 2 basins. A lot of farmhouse sinks are just one big basin. People like this so they can wash bigger dishes, or even I've heard of people wanting to put their turkey in their sink to thaw, things like that. But I actually really like having the 2 basins because I like to dry dishes on one half of my sink and then use the other half for washing. So depending on what you like to do, that might be a pro or that might be a con for getting this specific farmhouse sink, but I actually really, really like that. Another thing that I like about this sink is that it's very modern in style. So it's very modern, and it gets that modern look because it doesn't have a big back to the sink where you would actually install your faucet into the sink. You have to install your faucet behind the sink or even onto your wall if that's a possibility. That would be beautiful. We didn't have that possibility, so we had to make sure that there was room, as you can see, behind the sink. But that does give it a very modern look as opposed to it having a really wide back where you would install the faucets directly on that. Again, for my own personal style, I really enjoy this. That might be a pro for you, that might be a con, something to keep in mind if you are interested in the IKEA Havsen farmhouse sink. keep wanting to say Havsen. I'm not sure, you guys. I hope I'm saying it right in this video. All right, so let's get into those kind of scary details that people really worry about. Did we experience any cracking when we installed this sink? No, we did not experience any cracking when we installed the sink, and we actually put in a carburetor. We use it all the time, and we still haven't had any issues with this particular sink cracking. So based off of our experience, I would highly recommend it. Because it seems to be that they increase the quality dramatically compared to the first Farmhouse sink that they came out with. And then secondly, people are always really concerned about scratching on a Farmhouse sink, and that is, you know, a real concern. Farmhouse sinks, because of the material, they're white, they do show kind of more topical scratches really easily, but I actually haven't found this sink to show a ton. I know some people are concerned with a cheaper Farmhouse sink if you would see more scratching versus a high-end one. You know, when we were looking at high-end Farmhouse sinks for my parents' renovation, at the retailer that we were at, they said, you know, of course there's gonna be scratching. That's the type of material this is. So I don't know if you can escape that entirely, but really I haven't found that we have like a ton of scratches all over ours. And I guess maybe I'm just not super picky. It's not something that really bothers me if we do get a couple, but I did want to talk about a product that I really like. This isn't sponsored or anything, but it's definitely necessary if you are going to get a Farmhouse sink or you have one, which is Barkeeper's Friend. So this is a super easy product, and it takes out to use, and it takes out those really topical scratches if you get any. You just need to shake it and then put a little bit on a damp cloth, or if your sink is a little bit wet, you can apply it directly to any scratching, or, you know, if you just want to use it to really give your entire sink a good scrub down, you can kind of just squirt it all over the sink, and then you just let it sit for like a couple seconds. It says no longer than a minute. And then I use either a cloth to scrub it off or a really gentle scrubby, and it takes all of those little topical kind of gray scratches out, and it's amazing. I absolutely love it. So that is a product you're gonna wanna get, and you can, I got mine off Amazon, so you can buy it there. I think you can buy it if you're Canadian at like Canadian Tire or Home Depot, probably Target if you're in the US, Home Depot, places like that, but it is available on Amazon if that's something that you're interested in, and I will leave a link in the description box below for that as well. And yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any major concerns that people have. Those two issues seem to be the thing that hold people back from purchasing it, because again, it is a cheaper option, and that does seem to scare people that it isn't going to be good quality or beautiful, but I think it's right up there with those higher end Farmhouse sinks. I think it's beautiful. It definitely gives you that really charming country farmhouse aesthetic in your kitchen, and the quality is really great, especially from our experience. We haven't had any problems with it. Again, we have a carburetor in it that we're using all of the time, and I am not careful with it. I mean, I throw everything into there and I'm scrubbing pots and pans and everything, and we haven't experienced, you know, huge gouges being taken out or a lot of scratches and things like that. So it's definitely one of those budget-friendly products from Ikea that I highly recommend, and you definitely need to check it out if you are in the market for a Farmhouse sink for your kitchen. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. We would love it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. You can also find us on thebeautyrevival.com, on Instagram at the.beautyrevival, and on Pinterest at thebeautyrevival. Have a great day, guys.